All right. So what were you really struggling with before you started training with me?
To be honest, like the main key things was having like just a structured plan or system for me to kind of follow. Uh, I always worked out, so I'd usually go to the gym about 2 to 3 times a week. But the key thing that I felt that was missing was I didn't necessarily have uh, a system, so to speak, that I was going to follow in terms of my diet, and then like a regular exercise routine that I could like potentially ramp up depending on specific areas that I wanted to improve upon, which are like obviously lower body strength, burning fat, toning up, and then obviously getting stronger as well too, and improving my like stamina and endurance and conditioning. Because I do like to play sports, I like to hoop, so I wanted to kind of get better in those areas as well too. So those are kind of the two key main points that I would say that I wanted to focus in on was just having a specific diet that worked, not necessarily not just necessarily for my personal goals as far as like where I wanted to be conditioning wise, but more so even just for my schedule. I get really busy, I have work, so for me I needed something that worked around that and wasn't going to be recipes that would be too difficult for me to prepare where I could mess up potentially and create like a bad meal or things that would be too time consuming. So I think that's what I was looking for, and that's kind of what you helped me able to answer.
Awesome, man. So what were you kind of doing before, and how did that work for you before you started training with me?
Prior to training with you, my the main thing that I usually was doing was just going to the gym. To be quite honest with you, um, the gym stuff didn't really change too much because I've always been an athlete. I've always worked out. I've been around other personal trainers before, so I'm familiar around a gym. It wasn't necessarily that I needed someone to like give me motivation to be in the gym or I was someone who's like a rookie or wasn't aware of what to do when I was there. Um, I just needed more structure. Like I made it kind of clear, like I needed structure. So that's kind of why working with you was a perfect match because I didn't necessarily need you to be in person because I know for a lot of people that might be seen as a gap, but I think that's what sets you apart. You can do the anyone can do the in-person stuff, but to me to guide someone online, especially nowadays where all of us work from home, we work remote. We just went through a pandemic, so the ability to be in person for some people, even till now, they might not be comfortable or it might not necessarily work for them. So I think the fact that you had that flexibility because you are based in Vancouver, I'm based in Toronto, but I didn't necessarily need that direct in-person instruction. I needed more so a system uh, that fit my lifestyle and someone who understood where I was coming from that could give me the proper motivation as far as just, hey, dude, like don't forget to track your calories or track your meals for the day, or did you get your workout and did you make sure to get these specific workouts and how have you improved with certain reps? So it's like challenging me while I'm going through the program, but then also kind of customizing it specifically for my needs.
Awesome, man. Um, and also, so it's kind of the situation was kind of you knew how to exercise. You didn't really need someone to teach you in person how to do certain exercises, but it was just a matter of honestly getting the diet and getting the structure for the workouts and also getting an additional challenge to improve your workouts, just add a little bit of extra feedback into it, right? That makes
Hmm.
sense. So
100%.
I wanted to also know what was that point where you realized that you needed to make a change?
For me personally, I went through a really rough time last year. My mom unfortunately had passed from COVID, so I was in like a really tough position where um, I was just struggling, obviously, with that. Uh, I'm, I'm trying to figure out kind of my work situation because I was looking for potentially a new position, and then also I'm in the process of moving into a new place. So I had a lot of things going on at the same time and the thing that really motivated me, like at the center of it, was like my mom's health. She unfortunately had pre-existing health conditions, uh, which played a big part in why she struggled with COVID so much and why it unfortunately had took her life. God rest her soul. Um, the thing, the thing for me was at that point I just did some self-reflection because my mom was a big advocate of health. Uh, any new health technique or trend that she heard of, she would test it out, and she was someone who was very disciplined, especially as she got older when it came to that stuff. and she was always on top of us to also maintain our own health because we some of this stuff is genetic. It runs in your family. It's something that you could possibly inherit from your parents. So I just got more serious with my own personal health, and especially coming off of COVID, where we've been on lockdown, we've been quarantining for so long. A lot of us weren't able to go to the gym or get in as much workouts as we needed to, and progressively you're getting in worse shape. And then obviously the mental health component of it, where uh, you kind of want to get out of that fog. And the best answer for me was exercise. It was something that I always did. I've always been an athlete, so I just needed that structure because I had worked out before and I'd seen some success, but it was never long term because I would do these fad workouts where uh, I would do it for a few weeks and then I would hit an eventual wall where it's like either I couldn't keep up or I would fall off and then not get back on. So for me this time around, it was something that worked for me and that I gradually kind of changed the different goals that I had later on. And that's kind of what worked for me is figuring that point out. But yeah, the core motivation was, like I said, obviously around my mother's health and then my personal health as well too, to make sure that I can set myself up to be successful long term. Because I realize as you get older, your metabolism slows down, you don't recover as quick, and if you're not careful, these things can progressively get worse, and you can develop diseases and different ailments of the heart and high blood pressure and diabetes and so many things that, especially for us as young black men, we're very susceptible to because a lot of us, unfortunately, we don't go to the doctor as frequently as we should. And then you, on top of it, you add in as life gets older, you're more stressed. Work becomes a bigger part of your day, especially nowadays. People work from home, so we're living sedentary lifestyles. All these things compounded, it's going to lead to your health potentially worsening. So that's why it's important to be proactive and kind of make sure you exercise and put yourself in a better position now.
100%, man. And I know your mom is super proud of you for making that jump and, as you said, being proactive, understanding that like this all starts very young, starts when you're a young professional getting into your lifestyle, especially with COVID. When that hit, everyone's lifestyle became so sedentary. And knowing
Yep.
that, exercise is super important, finding the right programs is super important. And you knowing that you want that structure, wanted to work with a professional who isn't just going to give you some fad that you do it now and it kind of doesn't work, and it's like you might hit a wall or a plateau. You wanted something that was catered and custom to you, designed for you, so that you'll be able to break through any plateaus, or be able to have a program that was developed with progressive overload in mind, so there wouldn't be any plateaus essentially. And 100% looking at all of the things that were compounding in your life that made it super difficult for you to be in the best shape of your life. Like it definitely like sounds like you had some strong motivations to start, and it was the right time for you. And like congratulations for you actually deciding to make that change for yourself. You came from around 250 pounds and you ended at 218 pounds, which is amazing. So like hats off to you for putting in the work. And obviously the training was there to support your journey, but like I could only train you as hard as you're willing to be trained. I can only go as far as you meet me in the middle, right? So with that, you put in that work and you did an excellent job, and then the results speak for themselves, right? So congratulations, and hats off to you, man.
No,
Super
no, hundred
happy
percent.
for you on that, man.
No, I
My next
appreciate that.
question is, of course, my next question, it kind of ties onto that. How happy were you with the program?
Um, Super happy because, like I said, it fit my lifestyle. I work in tech, uh, specifically in sales, which is like extremely fast paced. Um, Now that COVID's gone, a lot of it is about meeting people in person. You're going to conferences. I'm going to be traveling a lot more, and then just in general, it's kind of a profession where uh, majority of your day is spent, like you said, it's a sedentary lifestyle. You're sitting down, you're on a computer, you're doing Zoom calls, meetings. Um, so for me personally, I wanted something that worked with my lifestyle, that wasn't going to be too time consuming. As someone who's a single guy, like, and I'm not like a big chef, I'm not someone who is a big cook. So I wanted something that was like simple and easy for me to manage and worked. You know what I mean? I was lucky enough, I don't have like major responsibilities. It's not like I'm taking care of an entire family or I have kids. So it's not that I'm that busy, but I'm very much on the go. And I don't want things that will kind of interfere with that flow. So it created a system that was quick, simple, something that I could just quickly get in and out, something that worked for me myself. And I think that's the thing that made me really happy about it. Is it was really customized to my personal needs. My diet even shifted while I was kind of going through this experience. I realized certain things didn't work for me, certain carbs. So I cut back on rice, cut back on breads, cereals, cheese, dairy, um, and kind of just increase my protein intake, fruits, certain vegetables. So I think I was extremely happy because, like you said, when you get into something like this, you don't just want one size fits all kind of method. You want something that's very catered to your specific needs, that's customized to your needs. So with that in mind, I think I received those results in the end. I was extremely happy about that.
Awesome, man. I'm super happy to hear that. And you're 100% right about it. Like what you're getting is super customized, and I think that's the way to go. Because at the end of the day,
Mm,
the way your body operates and works is different from everyone else's. So you definitely want something that's going to be catered to you, that you enjoy, that makes life easy for you, right? So I'm glad that
100%.
that worked well for you. So my next question is, was the program worth the price that you paid?
100%. I think it was more than worth it. I think for myself personally, again, I didn't need the direct in-person assistance. I didn't need the structure, and I needed the system and kind of a diet plan and regimen that worked for me. And considering the price, I think the value exceeded that because Oz constantly gave me reminders, constant feedback. If there's certain things that I needed to shift, you were very proactive in figuring that out, and everything was simple for me to follow. It was all done through an app, and all of the exercises, workouts had videos. The recipe, same thing. So it really was like foolproof, especially for someone like I said with my lifestyle. It worked perfect for me, and it allowed me to just kind of plug in and play. It had everything that I needed, and then I could just go from there and then do what I needed to do. So as far as value, I think it was an incredible value, and it's the human side. I think you can connect more so than anything else with people that are going through the experiences, who someone who's a young professional yourself. So you kind of understood that and you kept that in mind, and it made it an easy experience. Like I said, we've known each other already. We're friends, so that made the process a lot easier as well too. But I would recommend it for anyone, to be quite honest with you. If health is like a priority of yours, and which I think it should be for everyone, especially what we're coming off of with COVID, and then just the fact that as you become a professional, your responsibilities do eventually increase in life. So you want to prepare yourself before you have the kids and the family and a job where maybe you're in a senior level position where you're counted on. You want to make sure you get your ducks in a row as far as your health, because it's going to be extremely difficult when you have those major responsibilities in play. I think for us now in that young professional lifestyle, it's good to develop that now, where you have that discipline, where you have that routine, so you can then slowly, as you get older, you can add on those responsibilities without feeling as if it's going to take away from your health, which I think unfortunately a lot of people, they get into those age ranges and they didn't do the due diligence as far as figuring out what can I not, what can I eat, how much should I be working out, how active should I be. Uh, that's not where you want to be. You know what I mean? Because the long term effects of that are not good. You know, you can have heart ailments, other issues with your body, just a buildup of fat. We know that can lead to so many like terminal illnesses and things of that nature. So you want to try to avoid that completely and put yourself in a better position. So as far as value, 100% worth the value.
Thank you for that. And 100%, you're super right about young professionals needing to prime themselves at a decent age before they get into those higher level positions where the work demands increase. You want to have, as you said, all your ducks in a row before you get there, so that it's easier to manage. And it's not a new skill you're going to have to take on when you're already in the thick of things. 100%.
100%. Because like I said, that's the advantage that I notice even working within companies for young professionals who uh, are just starting into their industries or picking up steam. Um, you want to have that structure in place, because it can make you go much further along, especially if you're operating at like your peak capacity. I don't think a lot of people are operating at peak capacity. A lot of us are underachievers because we underplay the value that health has on like our entire overall life. Like when you're in better physical peak condition, like you said, you're sharper, you're more focused. If you're sleeping better, you're gonna have overall more energy. You're gonna have uh, more more of a fervor to kind of get things done. You're gonna be more motivated. Um, and these are the things that people don't realize. And just overall, it's good for your mental health. Like the increase in dopamine from working out is always a net positive. So for me, it's looking at it from a holistic approach and just realizing that this is important. This is something that shouldn't be taken lightly. I think a lot of us we do look at health that way when it's really just a simple choice of like, do you have the discipline? Like with your plan, it's really about staying under that deficit and then finding out ways of how you can consistently do that in a healthy way that works. Because for some people, you can be dangerous if you're not eating the right things and you're just cutting, which eventually will fall off. You'll eventually not continue to do that. So it's kind of finding that nice balance, which I think I felt that I found during my process.
Awesome, man. Super glad you found that balance. And you're 100% right. You have to do it the right way, and you have to make sure you get those nutrients in. And all in all, it seems like everything just went super well. So I'm super happy to hear that, man. And
No,
nothing
hundred
warms
percent.
my heart more than seeing like genuine, like positive impact being made in your life, right?
No, no, 100%. And then that's the goal. Like I said, it depends on what your priorities are. But like I said, health. The thing that I learned the most is you shouldn't look at your health as like something uh, that you just fix when it breaks down. Uh, you should always be preemptive, and it should be a lifestyle change. That's the most important thing. And what that means by lifestyle change is you might go a week, 2 weeks, hell, a month where you might not be as disciplined as you need to be. But if you really make the mindset that this is gonna be a lifestyle change for you, you'll always get right back on. Because to me, the thing that I notice with a lot of people, it's getting over that wall. It's getting over that hurdle, that plateau where it's like uh you reach kind of almost it's like a limit and then realizing it's not necessarily about getting to a specific destination or a weight or whatever the case is. It's more so about changing how you approach your life. And for me, now I make health and like all the things that I do an important component of my life. So that makes it much easier. And then now it's second nature. It's not something that I think about anymore.
100% that habit formation is a part of your life. It's ingrained in you now, and it's a matter of it's simple as you would brush your teeth in the morning or take a shower throughout the day. Like prioritizing health is up there right beside all those other pieces because at the end of the day, it kind of makes you the best you, right? And it gives you the
Hmm.
opportunity to perform at your capacity and not be an underachiever and really just go out and excel in everything that you're doing. So definitely see
100%.
how that's super important. Um, so my next question for you right now is from anyone who's 50-50 on starting the program on the fence, what is your message to them or what would you say to them um, if they're kind of like not sure if they should sign up or they just want to talk to someone who's done the program and understand, if it would be a good fit for them, what would you say?
Hmm. Um, yeah, is it a priority for you? Like, how serious is your health? How important is being in good shape to you? And in my personal opinion, if you're asking yourself that question, it's most likely because you know you're not. You know, there's certain things that you're not living up to standard to as far as how you go about your day-to-day activities and your overall health. If you're aware of that being an issue, then I definitely think that you should definitely consider this. Because for me personally, I don't think it's really a question. I think, like I mentioned before, health is extremely, extremely important. And before you know it, it's much easier to go in the reverse than to improve your health. So to me, I tell people all the time, exercise and the things that you do, these are necessary preventive measures because as we know with Western lifestyle, it's not designed for you to be in peak health. We have an obesity problem in North America. The food that we typically eat isn't the best. There's so many potential traps and lures out there for you to eat poorly. So I think if it's something that you're really, really considering, just have some self-reflection. Be self-aware, look at yourself in the mirror and give yourself an honest evaluation. And I think from there it's a simple answer of yeah, like do it. Like make that change. Make sure you because the benefits are endless. It's gonna help, like I said, your physical well-being, your mental well-being, your emotional well-being. Uh, it's gonna improve your overall quality of life. And I think as humans, that should be our goal. Our goal should be to how can we improve ourselves day to day. And if this is something that can potentially help you, then there's no reason not to do it. There's no negatives involved in this. Like eating healthier, having better sleep, it'll improve your overall appearance. It'll improve your overall mental mindset. It'll help you be sharper and more successful in whatever career or whatever endeavors that you're personally pursuing. So it's an overall win. And I think, like I said, if it's something that's really on top of your mind, it's evident that it's something that you need to focus in on, because otherwise it wouldn't be. Because, like I said, there's no negatives associated with this. It can only be good. So at that point, it's just a matter of you finding the discipline and motivation, and especially with your plan, you can cater it to someone who is on the fence by slowly introducing these things into their life. And then as their goals change and as they start to meet those benchmarks, you can kind of increase what it is that they want to do and shift it to whatever different performance needs or whatever other needs that they potentially want to kind of conquer.
Awesome. I'm pretty sure the people who are kind of on the fence and thinking about it will appreciate your message, because ultimately it boils down to how large of a priority it is in your life, and we're always able to spare resources and make time for anything that we deem as important, as you know. So thank you
Yeah,
for that
and health
message.
and your health should be important, man. There's no reason why health shouldn't be something that we all take very seriously. Like you shouldn't
Right?
you shouldn't be convinced to keep yourself in better condition, because it can only benefit you. You know what I mean? When you don't take care of yourself, only one person gets hurt at the end of the day. It's yourself. And unfortunately, it can also affect people around you if it decreases your quality of life, because that can play a role depending on what position you are in life. If you're someone that has to take care of others, it's definitely something to take into consideration. Do it now while you're young. Like like I mentioned before, if you're a young professional, get on get on it now. Don't wait until later on when, like I said, you might potentially have those responsibilities of like a family. You're further along in your career. You have other people that now are relying on you, and you don't have the energy. You're just older. You don't have the energy. So get on it now. Build that foundation, and you'll see the success long term when you can live a longer, healthier life.
100%, man. Um, yeah, pretty much those are all my questions for you today. Um, Thank you so much for that, Mo. I'm super glad that you got so much value from the program, and thank you
Mhm.
for taking the time out of your day to kind of communicate the value that you got out of the program to people who might be watching this, interested in signing up, not quite sure if it's the right fit for them. I think it'll definitely help a lot of people to kind of learn a bit more about what they can expect from the program, and it was also a super big pleasure working with you as well. So thank you for that, and that experience was great. And obviously now we have like a great friendship. We actually like communicate with each other, talk to each other pretty often. So that's pretty cool. And like I'm glad that we were able to develop that friendship through this as well, and like increase our friendship too. So
No, no, no,
it's been
100%.
dope, man.
And like I said, I really appreciate you helping me out with the program. And like I said, it was great. Obviously, we went to Ryerson together, but we didn't get a chance to really like talk, communicate. So it was cool building that relationship and that friendship with you. And I really appreciate that as well too. And yeah, like I said, highly recommend, because I think the outlook and perspective that you have is something that is needed, especially nowadays. Because me and you've discussed this a lot. Like this is where we're at now. Like the modern day working class young man or woman. We're not working at factories anymore. We're not. It's not what our parents used to do. Everything is now computerized. Everything now is digital, uh, and unfortunately, that lifestyle is not the best. Being behind a computer screen is not the best for your mental health or for your physical health. So to me, creating what you've created with your program, where you're really emphasizing getting out and like having a better overall lifestyle for people like us, I think it's important, because as things continue on, we're going to start to see these trends and the negative effects they can have. Because more than ever, I'm noticing people are working from home now. Like I said, it's not just an office job; it's now you're working from home. So you're talking about even more kind of reserved and lax lifestyle. So I think it's very important, and yeah, very appreciative of you kind of putting the program together and sharing with everyone.
Awesome, man. Thank you so much for that.